The Senate Business Committee was constituted yesterday. Is the first order of the business that happens when the Senate resumes its sessions after the long recess. That is at the beginning of each year. They have to appoint and select and approve the Senate Business Committee that shall set the business for the Senate for the year that is for that session rather. And under the standing order, that is that 2.2, the calendar of the Senate, once approved, shall be published in the Gazette Parliament website and in at least 2 newspapers of national circulation. And then on a day when the Senate is scheduled to adjourn to a day other than the next normal sitting day in accordance with the calendar, the Senate Majority Leader or another member of the Senate Business Committee shall move a motion of adjournment which shall be debated for not more than 2 hours, after which the Senate shall adjourn without a question being put. However, under the standing order that 2.4, despite the provisions of paragraph 2, the Senate, if it has approved its calendar, can still, by resolution of the whole House, alter its calendar or the adjournment date. And we had also indicated that the regular sessions of the Senate under standing order that 1, they commence on the second Tuesday of February and terminate on the first Thursday of December of every year. And then under that standing order that 2, despite the paragraph 1, the Senate may, by resolution, alter the dates specified under paragraph 1 in respect of a particular session. And today, once that session, that calendar is approved, then senators can either amend, alter the calendar as they wish. And just some things to note during this new session. All the motions that were tabled in the House during the last session, they automatically expired at the close of the session that it closed on December last year. And then all the statements that were not read in the House, they all expired during that time. The only statement that will be considered by the House and the committees are the questions that are and statements that were in a way processed by the House and then read on the House and committed to several committees of the House. You can see the senators have streamed into the chamber, and we're determining whether there is a quorum for the House to commence its sittings for today. In the chamber, there is Senator Christo Asige, nominated senator. The quorum bell is still being rung, meaning that we don't have the quorum yet for transaction of the business for today. And among the bills that have been listed in the order paper for today, can see quorum has been achieved. We hand you over to the plenary. Thank you.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Honorable Senators, I hereby report that a petition has been submitted to the Senate by Mr. Isaiah Odur Ochanda, who is a former employee of the Department of Defense, DOD, presently known as the Minister of Defense. As you're aware, Article 119(1) of the Constitution provides that, and I quote, "Every person has a right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within its authority, including enacting, amending, or repealing any legislation." Now, honorable senators, the silent issues raised in this petition are as follows. A, that in 1987, the petitioner sustained spinal cord injuries while in the course of his duties, which left him paraplegic. That in 1995, the petitioner was served with a discharge instruction letter on medical grounds that was to take effect from 13th of April 1995. That despite the petitioner completing all the necessary clearance documents, he was not paid his lawful dues. That the petitioner filed a case in the High Court of Kenya, civil case number 1051 of 1996, and a judgment was made on the 2nd of March 2011 that the petitioner be paid his dues and compensated accordingly. That the Minister of Defense and the Office of the Attorney General did not obey the court order despite the petitioner making several follow-ups and appeals through various offices, including the Commission of Administrative Justice, CAJ, and the Kenya National Commission for Human Rights. That the petitioner further went for a judicial review, that is JR 148 of 2013, and a ruling was delivered on the 14th of July 2023, compelling the Minister of Defense and the Office of the Attorney General to satisfy the decree in High Court Civil Case number 1051 of 1996 to the petitioner, and to which also they did not take action. That after failure to comply with the judicial review orders of mandamus, the court issued a warrant of arrest, which up to date has not been effected. The petitioner therefore prayed that the Senate intervenes in this matter to have him paid the decretal amount awarded by the court and his disability pension outstanding from 1996 to date. Now, I'm aware, honorable senators, that pursuant to Standing Order 237, I may allow intervention of this petition for a period not more than 30 minutes. But looking at the business ahead of us, I beseech honorable senators that we do not proceed with any intervention on this particular petition, and therefore allow me to commit the same pursuant to Standing Order 238-1, allow me to commit this particular petition to the relevant committee for consideration. And in this case, I direct that the petition be committed to the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense, and Foreign Relations. And in terms of Order 238-2, Standing Order 238-2, the committee is required in not more than 60 calendar days from the time of reading this prayer, which is today, to respond to the petitioner by way of a report addressed to the petitioner and laid on the table of the Senate. Thank you. Next order, clerk.
Order number 5, papers.
The Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, the 14th day of February 2024. The draft Senate calendar for the third session of the 13th Parliament. Thank you. I beg to lay.
Next order, clerk.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
The Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I give notice of the following motion that pursuant to Standing Order 32.1, the Senate approves the calendar regular sessions for the third session of the 13th Parliament, February 10th, December 2024, laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 14th February 2024. Thank you.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Next order.
Order number 8, the Conflict of Interest Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2023, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to provide for the management and regulation of conflict of interest and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 9, the Gambling Control Bill, National Assembly Bills number 70 of 2023, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to provide for the regulation of betting, casinos and other forms of gambling, authorization of prize competitions and public lotteries, for the establishment of the Gambling Regulatory Authority of Kenya, for imposition of tax on betting and other forms of gambling, and for connected purposes.
Honorable Senator Crystal Asige, you've been here long enough. And you know, when you rise on a point of order, it is when a colleague has the floor. Are you saying the clerk is out of order? Is it on a point of order or it's an intervention you'd wish to? Because if it's a point of order, I'm afraid I may not allow you. Proceed, Senator.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 37 that the Senate do adjourn to discuss an urgent matter of national importance, namely the increased killings of women and girls recently witnessed in the country. I thank you. I forgot to continue standing. Five people. Oh, thank you.
Honorable Senators, the motion having met the threshold with an overwhelming support, I do nominate that the same be prosecuted at 5 p.m. today. Senator Gloria Oroba, you're totally out of order. And because this is the second day we are in the chamber, I will not throw you out. But I'm going to warn you. Honorable Osotsi, kindly take your seat. Senator Osotsi, kindly take your seat. I've got a communication to make. Honorable Senators, in the Speaker's Gallery, we have 25 students, accompanied by 4 teachers from PCA Mitahato Secondary School in Kiambu County, who are undertaking an education visit in the Senate. Honorable Senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming guests to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I don't see the Senator for Kiambu, therefore I will call upon the Majority Leader for today to extend briefly words of welcome.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I join you in welcoming the students and teachers from Kiambu County to the Senate, and I'm sure they'll be learning a lot from us here. This is the house, the second House of Parliament, the Senate of Kenya, which is involved with legislation and oversighting our counties. And I wish them a fruitful visit. Thank you.
Next order, clerk. Now, Honorable Senators, allow me to reorganize the sequence of today's order paper. We are now going to prosecute order number 10 all the way to order number 17. That business is deferred. We will proceed with order number 18 going forward. Clerk, kindly proceed to call that order.
Order number 18, the County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 25 of 2023. Second reading.
The Honorable Chiranke, that order is deferred. Next order, clerk.
Order number 19, the Public Holidays Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 31 of 2023. Second reading.
The Honorable Senator Karungo Thangwa. That order is deferred. Next order, clerk.
Order number 20, the County Assembly Services Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 34 of 2023. Second reading.
The Honorable Senator Mohamed Chute. That order is deferred. Next order, clerk.
Order number 21, the Real Estate Regulation Bill, Senate Bills number 35 of 2023. Second reading.
The Honorable Senator Alan Kiprotich Chesang. That order is deferred. Next order, clerk.
Order number 22, the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 37 of 2023. Second reading.
The Honorable Senator Godfrey Osotsi.
Mr. Speaker, this is an ambush. I was not really prepared, but
Senator
because
Osotsi.
I understand the bill.
Senator Osotsi.
Yes.
We want you to do good work and justice to you this month.
Yes.
If you're not prepared, there's always another time.
Mr. Speaker.
We can never ambush you. That we cannot.
Mr. Speaker, nevertheless, I will proceed because I understand the bill very well. Mr. Speaker, this particular bill, the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Amendment Bill, is a very important bill for this House, and I encourage the members to support the bill. The bill is born out of...
Honorable Senator Osotsi.
Yes.
Kindly move the bill fast.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the guidance. I beg to move that the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 37 of 2023, be moved. Be read for the first time, Mr. Speaker. For the second time.
Senator Osotsi, I can see you're struggling with this particular matter. Would you wish to recollect yourself and then come back? Because that is not how I know Senator Osotsi. This is a different Senator Osotsi I'm seeing today.
Mr. Speaker, you have guided me.
Okay, proceed.
I will proceed.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I beg that the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 37 of 2023, be read a second time. Mr. Speaker, this bill is born out from the experience as the chair of the County Public Investment and Special Funds Committee, where we have been having challenges with the witnesses appearing before us, particularly county governors appearing before us. We have had occasions where our programming has been affected hugely because of non-appearance by the witnesses and sometimes late request to postpone. And this has happened severally. Mr. Speaker, I therefore decided to seek for this amendment so that we can try and resolve this problem. So the bill that I'm presenting before this House, Mr. Speaker, seeks to enhance the oversight mandate of Parliament to as the representative of the people of Kenya, guided by Article 1 of the Constitution on supremacy of the people of Kenya, that Parliament has the powers to summon anyone to appear before it. This bill is also guided by Article 125 of the Constitution that gives Parliament the powers to summon any person. The key word there is any person in the exercise of its oversight role. Mr. Speaker, this bill is also guided by Article 50 of the Constitution that talks about fair hearing of the witnesses that appear before Parliament. If I may go to the depth of the bill, Mr. Speaker, this bill seeks to amend Section 19 and 33 of Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act to provide a mechanism by which an order of arrest may be executed by Parliament itself. Mr. Speaker, we have had scenarios where some witnesses who have been summoned by various committees to appear have decided not to appear. A case in point is the governors in the last Senate who never appeared before parliamentary committees. And Parliament issued summons, those summons were ignored, and the police could not enforce those summons. So, Mr. Speaker, then that puts Parliament in a very dangerous situation. That yes, your standing orders provides for the summoning of witnesses, but you do not have the powers to arrest. So what do you do? If the Inspector General of Police refuses to arrest, what does Parliament do? I remember at some point, Mr. Speaker, some senators, I think maybe in the 3rd Senate or 2nd Senate, were forced to go to the office of the Inspector General to find out what was happening, because all the summons that were issued were not being enforced by the police. So this bill seeks to give Parliament the powers to arrest in a situation where the police are not able to do that for one reason or another. Mr. Speaker, the Inspector General of Police, who is also the head of the National Police Service, this bill gives him the power to the specific provision to help in the arrest. But also, it also goes ahead and says a member of staff duly authorized by the Speaker or the clerk can do that. Mr. Speaker, I know in the last Parliament there was a proposal to amend the Parliamentary Service Act so that we can have a unit of police in this House. But that has not been implemented, Mr. Speaker. So in this case, this bill will give us the option that in the event the Inspector General of Police is not able to enforce our summon through arrest, then we can do it ourselves through the direction of the Speaker or the clerk. And Mr. Speaker, this is important, because if we don't do that, we will reach a point where people will not come to our committees. We will issue summons and they will not come, and they will collude with the police and they will never come. And that has happened before in this House. And we will be a toothless House that cannot bite. So this bill gives us more teeth, so that the people who don't appear before us, we are able to follow the law, follow our standing orders, and arrest them. I know issues have been raised about when you arrest them, so what? Mr. Speaker, I think that is an issue that can be looked at administratively by this House. But the power to arrest, it is very important that we should have it. Mr. Speaker, the bill goes further to say that the fines that we usually charge, those who don't honor our summons, we usually charge 5,000 shillings. But this bill proposes that that amount is too low, we increase it to 2 million shillings. And that money, in the case of an individual who fails to appear before us, should be paid by that person, not by the county government or by that institution where that person is heading. So, Mr. Speaker, this will be a bigger pain to them, because most of them have been coming. You tell them about 500 and they easily pay it. But Mr. Speaker, if we enhance the fine to 2 million shillings, I think that will be a heavy burden to them, and the cost of not appearing before Senate or before National Assembly will be higher. So people will be compelled to appear before us. Mr. Speaker, this bill, though someone may argue that it is too punitive, but the bill provides that the process will be fair. And the provisions of Article 50 will be followed. Mr. Speaker, I think we must appreciate one thing. The Constitution gives this House immense powers under Article 125 to summon everyone under the sun. Everyone under the sun, including even the president. This house has the powers to summon anyone to appear before this house. And if for any one reason that person does not come, after several invitations as per our standing orders, and we issue summons, we have the powers to go further than that and arrest that person to come for us, if the police are not able to do that. We are going to have the powers to have a higher fine. In fact, some people told me that this 2 million is still too low. We should have increased it to maybe 5 million or even 10 million, so that the people can see the pain. Mr. Speaker, you will agree with me that the basis of this amendment is to protect the supremacy of Parliament. Is to protect the supremacy of Parliament. It is very disappointing that our committees work so hard. They invite witnesses, and witnesses just decide to stay at home, not to appear before us.
Yes, what is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, Senator, if you could yield. I raise understanding order number 105. The senator is articulating a very important issue. He has told us, Mr. Speaker, that if the police refuse to arrest, we arrest ourselves. Mr. Speaker, could he substantiate so that we understand what he means? Is it that the sergeant at arms will arrest, or the members of the committee will go and arrest, or the chairman? We just want to be clear as we support you, because we need these people to come before us. Could you clarify?
Senator Boni.
Yes.
Senator Sotsi is yet to conclude his moving remarks. If you could be a little bit patient, maybe those concerns will be addressed before he concludes. Kindly proceed, Senator.
Mr. Speaker, I think my good brother, Senator Boni, knows that even the citizens have powers to arrest. That's why we have citizens arrest. But in this case, I will kindly ask him to read the bill, because the bill is proposing that the clerk and or the speaker may cause the arrest of these witnesses. It is in the bill. So I ask you to read the bill, which you get more details about it.